Hi guys! Whoop. I came here wanting to check out some Ferraris. Well, they are under renovation. Let's go see Maserati then. I mean, it's my job, right? To touch, feel cars daily. Right? Let's go see what they have. Ugh. This way. Whoop, 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 whoop. What do we have here? Guys, this is the Maserati Levante Trofeo launch edition. Okay, so how many launch editions are there in the world? 100 only. Yep, there are only 100 of these specs, the launch edition in the world. And Malaysia, we have three. All right, now the three that we got in Malaysia is red, yellow, and blue. Why? Those are the colors on our flags, right? And I really applaud the Maserati team for being able to secure these allocations. All right. Now, what is a Trofeo? What is a Trofeo? If you think about Alfa Romeo, you have the Quadrifoglio, right? BMW, you have your M. Mercedes, you have your AMG, right? But the M and AMG only matches up to the standard Maseratis, right? In a way. But Maserati themselves, these are the Trofeos. These are the M's of AMGs of Maserati. All right? Let's have a look at the detail, and there are plenty of stuffs to discover. All right? First off, look at that. Carbon fiber air inlets at the side, so the air will travel from here, comes out from here, right? It reduces the pressure in there and helps with aerodynamics. Okay, of course, these are the intercoolers, and so these are shorted with Sport Contact 6. Sport Contact 6 is the top rated tires from Continental, and not only sporty, not only high performance, they are also comfortable. Yeah. If you didn't know, Rolls-Royce use Sport Contact 6. Civic Type R use Sport Contact 6. Yeah. Okay. And look at the lovely, lovely rims. These are huge, man. I'm wondering how. I mean, they are easily 22 or 21 inch, but I can't tell with my eye. I need to have a look. And 22 inches. Alright. So these are not carbon ceramics, but they're fine. Steel brakes are fine, and lowers maintenance as well. But then you have brake dust. But then this color will be good for brake dust. Okay. Air suspensions. Lovely. And these are the side grills. These are classic Maserati design cues, okay? And of course, this is the air vents on the bonnet. I like the fact that it has that kind of Nakada design, but it's a reverse Nakada. So what it does is, of course, there's no intake here. It only helps air, because as air travels like that, the speed of air traveling, it reduces the pressure around here, so it will suck the hot air out of the engine bay. Okay, so keyless entry. Oh, this color is just so deep. Let me show you how the color looks. Beautiful, right? Very, very nice. Oh, that's special. That is something special. The Trofeo badge under the trident. That's lovely. And then look at the spoilers. Right, you have some cuts over here to let air go through. That's very, very nice. And then the Maserati badge. Oh, look at this chrome bar. There's a tip over here. Ah, that's kind of off-center, the reverse camera. This is classic Italian for you. You know, Italians are like, no, remove that. I can reverse on my own. Okay, that's Levante. And look at this lovely carbon bits at the back here. The blackened exhaust covers. Okay, oh, look at that valve. Can you see that? Now, guys, to me, I totally agree with what this is. Even though if it is a real exhaust coming all the way, it's very manly, but then you don't want a small rear collision to bend your exhausts, right? So it's better that this is a cover that sort of not bend anything. That's the best now. Okay, so, and then look at the side skirts. Carbon fiber as well. The specs are nice. The specs are lovely. The design is lovely. Now the Levante has always been a car that I think, you see, the thing is this, most people, Cayenne, right, they're everywhere, right? But this is special. This is special when you compare. Cayennes are everywhere, Macans are everywhere, and this is just nice. This is a nice in between in terms of size, because it is slightly bigger than the Macan. It's bigger than the Macan, but it's also lower, longer in a way. So it doesn't look as SUV as the Cayenne. You know, it doesn't look as clumsy in a way. Of course, the Cayenne is not clumsy at all. But I think I like the profile of this more. It's lower, longer. It has more of like a raised wagon look to it. Right, look at the long bonnets at the front and then the sleek lines. So the whole car has this profile that is nicer than the typical SUVs, right? I think the closest one would be the concept of the Aston Martin DBX, but of course from the concept to the production, the DBX became a full-fledged SUV anyway. Alright, so let's come inside here. Oh, look at that. Now tell me, how many SUVs out there has frameless doors? How many of them? Look at the way it looks. Alright. Do we have the keys? Thank you. Thank you. Alright, thank you. Thank you. Okay. So I have the key with me. Very smart. They put it in a cover so people don't dirty it with their dirty hands. Now, later I'll show you what's the best part about a frameless door. Okay? You'll be like, hey, that's nothing, right? No. It's different. Okay? Later I'll show you. First, we step into the car. Alright? Bowers and Wilkins. I like that. I like that. Okay? Proper quality stuff. Okay? Now, let's look at the details, shall we? This is an Italian car anyway, and it's Maserati. And if you do not know, actually Maserati has a more illustrious history than Ferrari. Way more. Okay, let's look at this. Leather stitch. Nice. These are close stitchings. I mean, rather near. I like the bigger ones, but it's alright. And these are exposed carbon. So, compared to the polished lacquered carbon outside, the inside is actually look at that. You can feel the materials, the weaving of the carbon, because this is naked carbon. Alright, okay, come inside here. I know it's a bit dark. Let me switch on the lights. Are they on? Okay, they are very on. Okay, the entire center console is this naked carbon material. Look at that. the entirety of it. Engineered and crafted in Italy. Right? Nice. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, I've never experienced this mechanism before. So you pushed to slide instead of slide to slide. And closing is not that intuitive, but opening is. You just press and then it goes inside. So it doesn't obscure any space instead of opening like that. And it allows this compartment to be both big in storage and also available with a cover. So the problem is this space, right? If they don't do this cover, it can be a very deep space. Imagine without this cover, this compartment can be very deep and you can put a lot of stuff in there, but when you are enjoying your hardcore driving, things will fly around. Things will pop up and down in your car. They will spill everywhere. So a cover is needed. But then if the cover is a lid that opens up, you don't have enough space here. So they have to engineer something that not bad, not bad. Okay, you get an SD card slot, which I do not know why, a USB port and an auxiliary jack, and of course it's all covered in felt. Can you see this? 1 of 100. This is the Trofeo launch edition. Okay, cover this back. Oops, sorry. I think this kind of build is considered very, very good compared to what Italian cars used to be. This is BMW, Porsche levels of fit and finish. That's pretty alright. Okay, and this is also a bit. You see, in a Lexus or a Camry, right, when you press this lid, it goes like that, right? But that is soft, creamy. This is a Maserati. Hey, it's a bit faster, lah, huh? Okay, this is a shallow compartment covered in nice felt material as well. And why is it that shallow? I don't understand. So you have the lid of this compartment, by volumetric wise, is larger than the volume you have in here. So that's interesting. That's like you have a giant door opening to a small room, where the room is smaller than the door itself. Italians. Can you imagine that? Like you have a bottle cap this big, opening to a small bottle. Yeah, that's roughly how it feels. You're like, oh, this is a nice lid, open it, ka-cha! And it's so small. That's classic Italian for you. Alright, now let's look at the dashboard design, shall we? So that's the door design. Pretty typical, expected, but well executed. Fine with that, alright? And of course the stitches not being straight, a bit slanted that way, that adds to the sporting emotions and all that. Okay, and of course the exposed carbon fiber does add to it. And this material is special. It doesn't feel like leather, or it could be leather, but it's soft touch, and there are 2 stitching lines running across, and it's the same material as this, right? But this one doesn't have the stitch lines, so it doesn't look like leather, but this one has the stitch lines, so it looks like leather. Okay, what am I talking about? Anyway, that's the lovely Maserati clock, trident here. I think this is important. I also think that Porsche actually gave them some ideas, right, to put a stopwatch over here instead of a clock. So Maserati perhaps can consider that. That's the infotainment screen, and here's the gear lever. Now, Maserati, there's no denying it, Maserati belongs to the FCA group. Alright, so in the FCA group, they have their electronics shifter as well, which here you have leather cover, and then the little trident logo, but it doesn't have that click, you know, the BMW click. This one is a bit like Volvo, you have to do it twice, I suppose, or maybe not. Later I'll start the car. And this one is sort of like the iDrive thingy, which controls this. I'm glad they made it small instead of huge here, so that it eats into the cup holder space. So this is alright, usable. This has got to be the most intuitive leveling up and down button. You know, some cars, all they have is one button, and then when you press it blinks, but you do not know whether it's going up or down. This one, you push up for up, you push down for down. I think that is that is logical, right? Some cars just, it's one button, so you just press it, you don't know whether the car is coming up or down, so you have to look outside, lock your eye onto the bonnet line against some background, and then see whether it covers more or less. Hate that. Okay, steering wheel. This is surprising to me because this steering wheel doesn't feel chunky enough, you know, for what this is, a Trofeo, right? So if it is a Trofeo, I think here these parts should be carbon, right? It should be carbon, and then there should be some red stitchings over here to match the door, or you can put some LED lights. Of course, that's a Ferrari thing, but I just felt this steering wheel is one size too big as well for this cabin. Okay, so what I mean by that, now steering wheels have sizes, and I think this car, for what it is, a Trofeo, it would be nice if the steering wheel is slightly smaller at this curvature, or this, yeah, this girth. Even the girth is a bit too thin. If the steering wheel is smaller, this girth will be alright, but given that this size, this is like a full-size steering wheel, right? This is pretty big. So small girth is good for women, smaller hands, they can grip it, right? And oh, this has to be the loveliest paddle shifters in the world of paddle shifters, man. Two completely milled aluminium paddle shifters, long and hard. There's a lot of sexual innuendos, right? I'm talking about the girth, the grip, woman's hand, the phallic. Okay, no. Okay, the whole roof liner is covered in Alcantara. That's how you differentiate a poor man's car, like a BMW or Mercedes-Benz, and a rich man's car, like a Maserati or a Ferrari. Alright? Alcantara. So if you go into your BMW or Mercedes-Benz and then you touch here, if it is not Alcantara, you are poor. If it is Alcantara, you are not poor. New BMW owners say, since when someone call me poor? How can someone call me poor? Okay, no. It's a joke. Alright? Nice. Everything is alright. You get the panoramic roof and the seats. Well, we want to try the seats. Why can't we start the engine, right? Oh, oh, oh. Listen to the cold start. You hear that burble? Ah, yes. That is nice. Oh, yes. Let's wait for the cold start to go over and then we give it some revs, alright? So let's look at it. V8. The fuel is rather low. Okay, let's go with the pedals first. Nice, comfortable, metal footrest, pedal, nice. Ooh, metal. This is from Chrysler, if I'm not wrong. Alright. Bro, I can rev a bit, right? Because the fuel is rather low, but I'll just give it 1 or 2 push. Just put my... Okay, are we ready? Let's listen. Okay, I think that's a good distance. How's that? So, you like that end part? Wow! Alright, so, why does it sound that way? What is Trofeo? This guy here has a 3.9 liter V8 twin turbo engine, from the Ferraris. Yep. Alright, so before I go to the engine, let's talk about the seats, shall we? Now, I kind of felt the seat base it must have a motor. There must be a motor for me. Let's have a look. Okay, the seat adjustments, front and back, lying down, and then lumbar. Okay, the seats look great. I kind of felt that women will feel just right. You know, some seats are too big, and then women sat on it and they feel like, right? So, if your husband just bought another Ferrari, you have your revenge. Point, swipe. Right, that's the Trofeo. Let's have a look at the engine, shall we? The reason I started the car. Let me start the car again. Okay, why do I want to show you guys this? Okay. The reason I said frameless doors are different from others is because, bro, can you help me hold for a while? Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let me know the direction. Okay.
This is the reason why I say frameless doors are cooler. You don't get this in a Cayenne. You don't get this in just about any other SUVs. This is sports cars. Only sports cars does that. And this is the only sports SUV with frameless doors. Thank you, bro. Okay. So look at that. Look at the entry. You don't have that nonsense frame. And when you're parked at a very tight spot, let's say you can only open your car this much, it is way easier to go into your car with the windows lowered compared to one with a frame. Way easier. You will notice if you have driven a car with frameless doors. Yeah. Nice. Okay, let's look at the engine. Shall I test out the rear seats? No point now, huh? Should I? It's comfortable. Yeah, I have a very nice seat back angle, and I like the headrest is the short type. You see, this is the short type that doesn't go to the back of your head. A lot of headrests, right? They are on the back of your head, but this one is just nice on my neck. If I'm someone shorter, I can also rest my head, and then here's the armrest. This feels, even though it's still two holes, it feels nicer than the Cayenne one. The Cayenne one is just one piece of cushion with two holes in there. Looks rather cheap. Okay, this one is alright. This is not good looking. I mean the design. This is nice, but hey, your Maserati. They should, I don't know, man. Okay, it doesn't make sense to change both these, because if you swap them, even though it may look nicer, the air vents will be lower, which defeats the purpose, right? But I would prefer a car like this to have the air vents over here. It makes more sense. All right. Nevertheless, I was surprised by the rear seats. I was really genuinely surprised by the rear seats. I was expecting it to be tighter, but it's all right. It's not as spacious as the Cayenne, and the seat base is also more for kids. What do I mean by that? Or shorter people. So there are cars with very large seat base. When I review cars, I always say that, oh, the seat base is not long enough, its seat base is not long enough. But I realized something recently. My son preferred to sit at the back of one of my car with a shorter seat base than my Audi, which has a longer seat base, because even though the Audi is more comfortable, right? But the Aston with the shorter seat base, right? My son's legs, because kids, right, their legs are not as long as us, they can bend their knees over here. But if the seat base is longer, their legs have to be straightened. Then they have to move their ass upwards to bend their knees. Very uncomfortable for kids. But for mine, my son prefers my Aston. Okay? So let's open the boot. That is rather huge. Okay, big enough. there should be some stuffs here, you know. It shouldn't be a piece of metal that you can replace with some other shops. Alright, there are some straps over here. Oh, I tell you, straps are so good for boots. Okay, I always prefer boot lighting to be somewhere here instead of shining on your eyes, because it just makes everything darker because of the contrast. Alright, I would prefer a tonneau cover, to be honest. I would pretty much prefer a tonneau cover, but these type of covers have better soundproofing qualities. They're thicker, and once they lie down, they have better sound quality because this space emanates noise. Okay, this is very cheap. Maserati should change this. They should change that. And this strap is for you to hook on to something else, so that when you do your stuff, they're all here, right? Some compartments over here. That's all right. And by right, this should go in, right? Oh no, it's a Velcro. Cool, nice touch. This is cheap. Change that. Okay. Other than that, this is a powered boot. Oh, that's the button to close it. True. Some people are short, they can't reach here, but they still need the large opening. So you can press this to close it. It uses a powered strut. Alright? So, let's have a look at the engine bay. Woohoo! That's the Ferrari V8 twin turbo. Okay, award-winning engine, extremely powerful. How powerful? 590 horsepower, 730 Newton meters of torque. Okay, so I just experienced this engine in the F8 Tributo the other day. It was instantaneous, the way it pulls. Okay, so these are classic Ferrari designs, and that's the V-bank over there. You see that? And why are there so many hoses around here in the center? And that's because the turbochargers are housed there so that they warm up quicker. It shortens the flow of air, because let's say you have the old design. Back then they have one turbocharger here, one turbocharger here, and then the intake will go all the way there and then comes down to the intercooler and then goes back all the way. The length of that increases turbo lag. So what they do now is they house the turbochargers in between the V-banks. They shorten the route for all the air to travel, but that also means that the engine will have a lot of hoses, controls, wirings all littered around, and it results to look like more like a beating heart now, right? With a lot of veins coming in and out, right? This is where I say they suck air out of the engine bay. Very, very crucial, and I like this design. Okay, so I think this is a more special car than the Cayenne. The Cayennes are everywhere now. This has a kind of Italian exotic feel to it, especially if you go for the yellow. Look at that. Look at the yellow one. There's also another matte blue, and this is red, just like the Mazda's, so red. Oh, look at that. How good looking is that? Beautiful. So would you prefer the yellow, or would you prefer the red? I would go for the yellow, man. I would go for this. This is just absolutely stunning looking. Right, especially with the lights on. Look at that. Freaking beautiful. Freaking beautiful. Now guys, if you guys want this car, you better book it quick. Why? There's only 100 units of this in the world, and Malaysia only got 3. And it will be unique. Why? Because there's only one in red, one in yellow, one in blue. Now what is the price? It is not cheap, mind you, because this is the Trofeo, right? If you ask me, a 3 Series is cheap. 318i, how much? 200k. How much is an M3? 750,000. 3 times the price, right? M division, AMG, right? A freaking A class is cheap, 200k. A45, 450k. This is a Trofeo. This is not your V6 variant. It's a V8 3.9 liter twin turbo with 590 horsepower, 730 Newton meters of torque. What's the price? 830,000 before tax. So you don't have to worry that your poor neighbors you bump into one with your poor neighbors, because you need 830,000 before tax to buy something like that. So my recommendation is you put your booking, you book this car, you put it in Langkawi, right? And you wait for a few years to get the discount in tax, and then you bring it back. Why? Especially for you guys, for this car, for these 3 units, Maserati is giving 7 years of warranty instead of the usual 3 years. So how do you make use of the 7 years of warranty, right? Are you going to drive this for 7 years? No. How you use the 7 years of warranty is you buy the car, you put it in Langkawi, you use your first 3 years to save on taxes, and then you bring it back to Peninsula, you have 4 years under warranty, and you pay way lesser tax for a performance version of a Maserati Levante Trofeo. That's my advice. So, yeah, that's it. Only 3 in Malaysia. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen. Darling.